When we are talking about spirit spouses, many of you are familiar with these two spirits, and I want to give you guys an understanding of this broadly, though, okay, in a very general way. So you have incubus, and then you have succubus. Now, I want you to understand that incubus, the name incubus just means to lay upon. Now, there are people that are in sexual bondage where you may have experienced sometimes in the night, you will feel yourself not able to breathe, and then you will feel yourself, it's almost as if something is laying on you. Now, this is not always incubus, but many times this is a sexual spirit coming to lay with you. Okay, many times. Now, there are other things it can be, but we'll save that for another broadcast. So many people that are experiencing this is actually most of the time, very primarily, it can be evidence that there is a spirit spouse in your life. Okay, now it means to lay upon. A succubus deals with laying under. Okay, so laying upon, laying under. Now, just by looking at male and female, we gain an understanding, obviously, that incubus is when the spirit comes in the male expression. Succubus is when the spirit comes in the feminine expression. Okay, and so these spirits are coming, right, to bring people into bondage, to strengthen the covenant, and there are other things that they do that we will discuss. But I want you to understand, when you're talking about incubus, and you're talking about succubus, you're not just talking about any random sexual spirit. You're talking about almost like, you could say, spirits that govern the world of sexual spirits. Okay, so if you're experiencing sexual spirits, it may not be incubus that's laying with you. I want you to understand, you may simply be dealing with a spirit that is governed and supervised by incubus, governed and supervised by succubus. You guys understand what I'm saying? So these spirits are like chief in the world of sexual spirits, okay? And so they govern that world. They facilitate that world. They engineer things in the life of people that are in sexual bondages. Okay. Now, a few more things that I want you to know about incubus and succubus and sexual spirits that work underneath them. So a few things you need to know. Now, something else is that these spirits are drinkers of blood and eaters of flesh. Now, watch this. The Bible tells us in Psalms 27, when David begins to talk about this, David says that the Lord is my light and my salvation. He says, whom shall I fear? He's the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked and my enemies come upon me to eat of my flesh. Notice that language there. Enemies coming to eat of my flesh. Okay, so there are actually a class of demons that eat flesh and drink blood. And let me give you an example of if you are experiencing some of these types of things. Now, I want you to know, and I want to use this as an example, and I'm trying not to be explicit, but I'm doing my best. These spirits, incubus, succubus, these sexual spirits, sexual spouses, which are actually can be different, okay? So like I said, you have the chief that governs that world, incubus, succubus. And then you have spirits that work underneath them called spirit spouses.